Oh boy. Yep, this is surely a chapter of Fairy Tail that definitely requires some tissues. Okay, so to start the chapters of Fairy Tail, keep getting posted quicker and quicker thanks to the main man, Yonko Productions. This guy's a fucking G. But before you guys start asking for the links in the comment section below, as usual, they are in the description below. Got so many comments on last week's video about this. Just visit the description, guys. They're always there. And as well, sorry for this post getting posted one day late. I didn't have any power for all of Friday. But nevertheless, let's start talking about chapter 505 of Fairy Tail. Trump card. So to start, let's go and get the elephant out of the room. Makarov has officially lost his life within Fairy Tail. And I say this because I doubt there's any way of him returning from this. Like, let's be honest here, the guy did use the magic spell of fairy law. And to begin with, let's be honest here, Makarov did not have a long life expectancy as is. So as far as I'm concerned, this could actually be a death within Fairy Tail. I know, surprise, but with what we've seen in past chapters with regard to deaths, you can never really be sure when it comes to Hiro Mashima and his work. Nevertheless, so within this chapter, we actually see Eileen use her enchantment magic quite a bit, which, to say the very least, is as overpowered as ever. Another reason why I believe Eileen and Urza actually have a connection, both of their magic kind of something you look at and say, she did that because she's Urza, or she did that because she's Eileen. But anyway, she turns in this huge-ass hill into just a ton of soldiers called Berserkers that apparently just don't feel pain, so it's really, really overpowered to say the very least. Then we see Urza actually trying to fight the Berserkers off, but it's way too much for her, as we can probably tell, and the force is beginning to overcome even people like Gildarts. We then actually see Gramps coming out of nowhere. He's just ready to sacrifice himself to save his children. He goes on to give this just absolutely tear-jerking speech. One of my favorite parts of it is when he actually says, "Play nice," which is, yeah, about that. You kind of have two of your guild members fighting to the death. Yeah, never mind. Let's not talk about that. But yeah, so even at one point, Mavis actually comes in and she tries to talk him out of sacrificing himself because she apparently has a plan, but Makarov is having absolutely none of it. He even goes to the extent of telling her to shut the hell up, which is absolutely just savage mode for Makarov. He's just kind of telling off the little tactician who thinks she knows everything, but nevertheless, he goes on to use fairy law and get rid of Eileen's soldiers, and within the final panel, we essentially see Makarov in a frozen-like state, and he's dead. There's no way coming back from this. He's dead. But then we're left with the name for chapter 506 of Fairy Tail, Broken Bonds. Now, to say the very least, this is going to be absolutely insane for the character development of people like Loxus. I mean, like, although Makarov wasn't essentially his father, let's be honest here, Ivan was never really much of a father to him as well, so Makarov kind of took it over in a way. But yeah, Loxus' reaction of all people is going to be absolutely insane, as well as opens up the question of who will be the next Guildmaster of Fairy Tail. You know what? Bottom line here, I'm definitely thinking it's going to be Loxus. So, I was actually predicting that Hiro would actually take away from the Natsu vs. Grey height from last chapter and center it around something else within this chapter, and I didn't really want a chapter like this to begin with. As well, I felt as if Makarov's death was kind of forced, and that seems to be a general consensus around the Fairy Tail community. It just kind of came off to me as, he's old, it's time for him to die now. There really wasn't much build-up, and for a character like Makarov to die to something as fodder as soldiers, like, damn. However, from the name of the next chapter being Broken Bonds, I do believe that next chapter, Natsu vs. Grey, will resume, so that is always good. And I do agree with the fact that it is very much Makarov's time to die, but nevertheless, the chapter was alright. Definitely a sad one to say the very least, but not one of my favorite chapters to say the very least as well. I'm very excited, though, to get back to the Natsu vs. Grey hype, because that's really the only thing I actually care about right now within Fairy Tail, if that makes any sense. Nevertheless, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys want to read chapter 505 once again, visit the description of this video. There is a link there for you guys. Leave a like on this video to show your support and subscribe if you haven't. Peace.